Hey, what's up, ladies and guys? Hey, we got a job coming up that I need a 302.5 mini excavator for. It's a 2001 Caterpillar 302.5 rubber tracked mini excavator, and it has about 2,800 hours, 2,700 hours on it, somewhere around there. Anyways, I was looking online and I found these plastic shims for the bucket. And my bucket has a lot of slop in it right up here. I have the quick hitch, the quick attach on it, but there's still where the shims are, or where the 35 millimeter pins are. I'll show you, there's still a lot of slop in it. So these are like 20 bucks or maybe $25. So I'm gonna, they're 35 millimeter pins, which go through the middle there. So I am going to see if these work. I have another packet somewhere, but I can't find them. So I'm only dealing with this one packet, and I think there's 8 of them. And yep, there are 8, and they all seem to be the same thickness, about 1 millimeter thick. So we're gonna see if I can tighten up some of that slop in that bucket before I bring the machine to the next job. So let me get you set up. I'll show you the slop in it, and we'll see if there makes any kind of difference. So here's the bottom pin, and you can see obviously the pin bushings, which prevent or doesn't let the pin wobble up and down in there, are running low. It's an old machine. It's a 2001. You can see this. There's a lot of play up in here in that linkage. But what I just want to do is, you can see right in there, there's a lot of gap. So I want to try to get a pin. These are metal shims. I'm gonna see if I can get some plastic shims in here. And maybe some of the other ones, maybe this one here, maybe in there. But this is definitely the one I want to shim up, try to get some of that sideways slop out of there. Let me get some gloves on before I get too greasy, and then set you up, and we'll pull that heavy duty cotter pin, slide this out, see if I could stick some. There's only one in this side. Maybe I'll take these out and I'll put all plastic ones in here. Get rid of all that, the old metal ones. So it looks like I'll be able to put 2 on this side and 2 on that side. And that should take up all the slack there. So it'll be 4 millimeters. A little greasy, huh? Actually might be able to only get 3. That slop there is a bushing that's inside here, the brass bushing. I got to replace them too. Not today though. But the side-to-side play is gone. So this has the side-to-side play here, so I can stick a shim in there. So let me take this cotter pin out up here. I'm keeping these if I can, and I'm gonna put the plastic shim right in the middle on this one. A little greasy. I just greased the machine too, so that doesn't help. So I put a plastic one in the middle here, because these have the 2 pieces. So I'm gonna try to get a plastic one in here and keep the 2 metal shims on the outside. It's gonna be tight. I got that one. All right, I gotta take this pin out and this pin out. Two separate ones. I'm gonna change the gloves though, because I'm getting everything covered in grease. I don't want to get my sockets all that greasy. So I got a 1mm shim in there. I left the metal stainless steel shims on the outside, so I was able to take up 1mm of slack in the middle. I was able to, over on this, on here, I got one shim here, two shims here, but I took out the plastic ones. So it's a nice tight, it looks like it's not tight, but it's actually, there's like no room in there. That's just the contour of this casting there. And then the next thing I'm gonna do are these two fingers here, here and here. There's a little bit of slop right here in this piston. So, right like that. So the bushings in the piston are old, the bushings in this knuckle are old, and in this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to take the sideways slop out. So I'm gonna take this bolt off, slide this pin out, stick a shim in here. And once that's put back together, then I'm gonna do this one and stick a shim down there. And that should take up a little bit more of that slop. Since I have more of these plastic shims, I'm gonna try them out. But I still wanna keep, if there are shims, like there's a shim in here, I wanna keep a shim in every fitting because it acts as a wear point, so you don't actually wear apart the castings. So I'm gonna see if I could slide this, take this off, and see if I can stick a 1mm pin somewhere in that. To get two 1mm plastic shims and one of the original metal shims in there. All my shims are falling. So these are the shims, the three shims that fell. So I gotta make sure I replace them. But as I'm looking, I don't have a shim in here. So it's kind of a good thing. I'm gonna take this off, stick a shim in here. As long as they end up with the same plus. So I'm gonna take a metal shim. Then I'm gonna take a plastic shim. shim, shim. Then I'm going to take a metal shim next to the plastic one. Now I got to lift this up and put it in a piston. And I have 3 more shims I got to replace. So I got 3 more shims. So I'm going to do a metal one, plastic, oh, there's a shim here. So I can leave that one there because I have this outside one out here too. Actually, I'm going to take this one out. Oh yeah, no, that's right. So I got 2 shims left. So I'll put this little one. Actually, I'm gonna switch this out. Let's switch it out for a larger diameter one that I took off the bottom. So I'm going to put metal one, bring this over. Okay. So the next step is this one. Uh-oh. Well, that's not going to work. I put so many shims in, my pinhole don't line up. I can take it apart. Thank God for brake fluid, brake cleaner. I don't think I'm gonna mess with this one. All right, let me take the gloves off, tighten that up, then I can bend all these. Normally I pressure wash the area and get all the grease off of it before I start trying to do this, and then just re-grease it, but I was a little too lazy to do it, and it makes it just 10 times worse. But anyways, I ended up taking out some metal shims out of all this and putting the larger, thicker 1mm, well, I'm just gonna call them plastic shims. They're actually made for it. They're supposed to be a very high friction or wear, very high wear plastic. So it looks like it got a lot of slop out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the bucket back on, and I'll get back out and I'll do the wiggle test and I'll see how it works. I took out 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 thin metal shims, and I have 6 1mm shims in there. So I added 6mm, and I probably took out 2mm of shims once they were in there. So let's see if there's any difference. wedge, and it wedges the bucket on. Tighten this up, and then I'll do the wiggle. All right, let's see how much tighter it is. Oh, that's a lot better. So the rest of the wiggle or the slop is inside the boom. There's a brass fitting inside the casting here and inside here. That is getting worn out, but it's a lot better than it was. All right, well, this machine's ready to go for the next job. Yeah, all right, so I gotta go park this, and then I gotta go through a couple cans of brake cleaner probably, or at least one full can to get my tools clean because they're disgustingly covered. All right, let me go park this. Hey guys, so that's going to wrap up this video on the 2001 Cat 302.5, just shimming up the bucket, putting some of those plastic new shims in there. They were 1 millimeter each. I had 8 of them. I put 6 in, and I took out a couple of the real thin metal ones that you get with, if you call Caterpillar. I'm going to try these plastic ones. They're thicker. They supposedly are a high wear plastic. They're specifically made for excavators and equipment. These are actually specifically made for the Cat with a 35 millimeter bore hole in there. Other machines are 40, 45, 50 mil, 60 mil, 100 mil, depending on how big your machine is. But mine's just 35 mil, so they're kind of hard to find. Not expensive at all. They're actually a lot cheaper than the metal ones. Hopefully they last just as long. And I will see at the end of this job, see how they hold up, because there is a lot of digging. So if they're gonna wear quick. All right, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos. And if you're going to leave a comment, please keep the language clean and friendly. I want to keep it a kid-friendly channel. Thanks for watching.